Hello, hello. Welcome to the week ahead. We are, what date are we at here? We are right now recording this on June 8th for June 9th to June 14th. And I wanted to start without showing the chart yet and just really giving an overall flavor of the week because this week is a little bit more sobering than last. Last week, we entered Gemini season. In the last week and a half, Jupiter has moved into Gemini. We've had Venus there, Mercury there, and it has been a Gemini party. Gemini parties are not quiet. They are here, there, everywhere, up, down, sparkly, all over. And I think we've all been feeling the energy of that palpable shift with Jupiter moving out of Taurus, out of our body based sign into more of the, okay, fresh new horizons, curiosity. Of course, where that falls in your chart, it might not exactly feel like that, but we're slowly starting a new focus, a new story, a new expansion. However, this week, it feels like we slow down for a bit, and we slow down so that we can do it right. Because we can't just like run out and start new and, oh yeah, we're fresh, we're new, we're gonna just like hit the ground running. We need to be strategic about the way we want to grow, or else Gemini will have us feeling very distracted. And Jupiter is here until next year. For a full year now, we have Jupiter here, and we can get something really incredible done in the Gemini part of our chart, but we need to get structured and grounded. This week, there is a sobering energy that's coming through that's asking for alignment. It's asking for due diligence. It's asking for us to double down and do some of the harder work. There is another story that's also happening that is quite body based. That's why I love that Trevor Hall song, In and Through the Body, or In and Through the Body. It's actually called Blue Sky Mind. Totally not, but he says that in it. And I just found out I'm going to see him. Anybody who wants to come, August long, Caslo Jazz Fest. Anyways, see, that's a Gemini sidetrack. So this second storyline is really coming through the body and through the nervous system. It's coming through Mars in Taurus, squaring Pluto in Aquarius. And that one's about transformation, and it's coming through our bodies. Now, there's a third thing that happens this week that could feel pretty good at the end of the week. And yet we're still riding a theme of letting old stories die and trying to step into new ways of being. So noticing our old patterns and then shifting to new ways of being. There's actually this one song that I love, that I listen to, that empowers me and also helps me access some of my anger. And it's something that I played for a couple of years when I would need to access like a deep movement towards my goals and what I need to do. But this week I've started skipping it. Every time it comes on, I'm like, I don't need to listen to that anymore. That's just a small example of some of these new storylines that are starting. But this is a week where we get clearer on what we need to let go. I will just say, with all this Gemini energy, meditating on the flow of your breath during this time, there's a lot of lively energy coming through the body, through the breath. It can feel breathless, to be honest. And so the more that we can sort of just slow down, and even just 2 minutes a day, just noticing like, I am breathing in, I am breathing out. Or you can do something like, I am on the in breath and then peace on the out breath. This is something I do in like the doctor's office, or, when I'm waiting in line for whatever. I'm like, okay, I can shift my attention back to my breath. I am peace. I am love. I am whatever you want to be. You can be it in that moment. So that is going to be something that I highly suggest for the week. Now, let's share the screen here. So Sunday, June 9th, about 9 a.m., we have a few things that just happened. Mars just moved into Taurus. So that energy is, first of all, we went from like Mars and Aries, where he knew everything, where he knew where the pens were, where he was writing out his plan, where he was getting shit done. He was like using the boxing ring in the basement. It was like, this is his house. This is what he wants to do. Our energy, our focus would have been having a boost with Mars and Aries. Now Mars skids to a stop in Taurus, and it's less about speed now and more about steady determination, digging in for the long haul. How are we going to work with this energy for the long haul? Okay. So that happened Saturday night, last night, if you're watching this on Sunday. June 9th, so Sunday, early in the morning, the sun squares Saturn. This is following that Venus square Saturn that happened. And on Wednesday, June 12th, we're going to get Mercury square Saturn. So there's a squaring Saturn theme this week. Saturn is authority. Saturn is the rules and restrictions that we come up against in our life. Saturn limits us at times. Just like the ancients believed Saturn was the end of the solar system, we bump up against that where it's like, this is the as far as we can go right now. Saturn is slowed way down because he's going to station retrograde by the end of the month. And so there is a depth that's being dug out around the 19-20 degrees of Pisces area where he is right now. And so as all these inner planets come and square him, they're all getting this like little jolt of like, oh, wait, before you can go and be all that sparkly, fast, quick Gemini thing, slow down, come back home. What due diligence are you missing? It's a sobering energy. What are you getting disciplined on? You got to work at something. Is what you're saying or learning being put into action? Or are you just like learning, and not really like creating the scaffolding inside of us to carry forth what it is that we're learning or saying? This is an energy of discipline. It might mean that this week there are some delays or setbacks around the projects you're trying to move forward, or things in your life, conversations you want to have, whatever it is. There might just be like this feeling of stop, halt, wait. And I don't know about any of you, but when something happens on the road and I'm late for something, or I didn't get out of the house in time, and then I find out after that there was an accident that happened on, the route that I was on or whatever, I really have come to reframe setback in my life as something that is happening for me, not to me. And so if there is some sort of setback that happens this week, I want you to really work with that energy and know that it is on time. It's here to help you dig in deeper. And maybe, this is like big editing or writing energy. It's like you're writing, and then you like send it to the editor and they're like, I don't feel like this piece is right. And you're like, dang, I wanted to rush ahead and publish it. But before doing that, you got to check in with Saturn. So trust the setbacks. Also, Saturn is a father energy. And with the sun squaring Saturn on Sunday, this is a hard time for the masculine energy. The sun is masculine, yang. It's our luminary that is more about life force and how we shine out. And it often can be related to the father. And Saturn is the paternal line. Often it's the line of authority. It's where we bumped up against to get our restrictions, our rules in life. So the sun and Saturn squaring off could feel jarring. It might be like some control issues coming up. We can't logic our way out of it. Saturn's in Pisces and asking for us to trust our feelings. And it might not go with what we're trying to say. Maybe even we're not sure this week. Like we don't have the words or we don't have the focus that we usually have in Gemini season. And that's okay. Trust it. Now, Monday, we have a Leo moon. The moon moves into Leo on actually Sunday evening. And then all day Monday, we just have that Leo moon. But we're building on Monday into a big part of the week, which is Mars squaring Pluto. So Mars squares Pluto at 6:21 a.m., early morning on Tuesday. So we'll be feeling it all day, Monday, even Sunday. Mars and Pluto were together in Aquarius around this point here back in February 15th. Mars and Pluto talked for the first time here in Aquarius. And it was a big day for me. I got big news that day. So I am very aware that, there is a force at play. I wonder if you go back to that week, what energy came to light? What new story was starting there? What did you hear? At the worst of times, this energy can be combative, violent, it can be harsh. At the best of times, this energy can mobilize us. It can be that something unseen comes to fruition. It can be Pluto, reaching into the underworld and coming out with Mars, a strategy, action to take. Now they're happening in fixed signs. So it's like Mars isn't loving being in Taurus. We know that. And Pluto is over here in Aquarius, and they're like gunning off. They're butting heads. So it's going to feel like there needs to be some more flow that day. Allow yourself to be the flow. Do something, sweet for yourself. Go for a run. Maybe take a different way to the coffee shop and or wherever you work, like take a different route. Just sort of challenge yourself to move the energy because it's going to feel stuck, stagnant. So we want to move something and we want it to be in a positive light, Now, the other thing is that there is this healing marker where Venus, the planet of love and beauty, is sextiling Chiron on that day. And so you'll even see here, like around 6:20 a.m., there's this like minor grand trine that happens. It's with the moon, so it won't be long, but there is some help that day, is what I'm trying to say. It's not going to be all bad. Venus sextiling Chiron, there's healing that's coming through our conversations, through our friends, through the feminine elements in our lives. So rest, receive, talk to a good friend, allow yourself to move that energy in a healing capacity. And then Wednesday, we get the Mercury square Saturn. So I kind of already talked to that, but Mercury is the planet of our communications. So this could be like an email that, you want to double check, triple check before you send it out. It might be you get some sort of sobering letter in the mail, or some sort of message comes through and you're like, oh, I actually am going to have to do something even deeper in order to get this thing done. It's a great day to reflect on integrity. Is what you're saying aligned with what you're doing? Or are you just talking up a storm and not following it up with action? There's a discerning element for people who have Mercury Saturn in their charts. They're good at discerning what it is that they need to do. They're often they speak with responsibility. Okay, you might need to have a serious conversation. And to be honest, it might be that you can't find your words on that specific day. There could be a little bit more about dropping into your body. Like it's a great day for something like co-listening, conscious listening, where you're talking, but you're actually closing your eyes and going like, I feel this thing in my heart, and keeping it on your feelings, Saturn and Pisces, rather than it being like, here's what you need to do, or Mercury and Gemini, which we often think is quite fast and witty and funny. With Saturn, it's not going to feel fast and witty and funny. It's going to ask us to really drop into our bodies and feel, and into our emotions and discern, like, is this true? Is this mine? Do I need to continue holding this? And so there could be a bit of discernment. It is, again, like lower energy of this could feel like you have like literally you can't talk. I always think like Mercury, Saturn, sort of like you just can't find the words. But the higher edge of this could be like great day to do another draft of the email, look at your book and re-edit it again, look at your, social media post and talk about something that truly is deep, or that, yeah, it's just not as sparkly as Mercury and Gemini usually would be. Thursday, we get a first quarter moon. On Thursday, we get a 23-degree Virgo moon. And when we get a first quarter moon, we are in the first quarter, just like in a football game or any game that is played in this element. It's like, okay, or first quarter of like a, if you just think about this moment of schooling, your semester, it's like the first quarter is done. You're thinking back to what it is you need to do or how you need to shift things in order to move forward. Okay, so it's like, what can I do to change a little something right now? So this new moon that aligns with this was September 14th, 2023. What began then is now getting its first quarter look. And it's time to sort of be like, okay, do we need to cut this part off? Do we need to do this? Do we need to change this, fix this, And remember, Virgo moons are all about the gut, all about the intestines. That's what it rules in medical astrology. So trust your body this day. Really check in with your digestion and ask yourself, like, how am I digesting my life? Like, I mean, like your life in general, not just, are you digesting gluten, but like, are you actually digesting your life? Or are you, with this many planets in Gemini, going out and doing so much that you can't have time to let it filter in? Because this first quarter moon might be a chance to say, I'm going to take a little bit of a retreat or time away or time in nature. Virgo moons love nature, so that I can really like hone this so that in 9 months' time, when the full moon comes around in this moon family, I'm ready to really put this out into the world, or I'm ready to celebrate it and